The Serpent of Philadelphia, 1777 to 1778. History remembers the muskets, the marches, the battles. But what if I told you that in 1777, while Washington's army froze in Valley Forge, a different battle was being fought, not with bullets, but with ink and code. And at its heart lay a secret that came not from Europe, but from America. A secret that could burn empires. The Ghost Returns. Philadelphia, March 1777. The city trembled under British occupation. Drums echoed through Market Street as General Howe's troops paraded their victory. But in the back rooms of taverns and candle-lit attics, rebellion still whispered. In one such attic, a woman knelt before a table of melted wax and parchment. Her name was Clara Whitcomb, a former nurse from Boston and one of the last surviving Candlemen. She had escaped the fire that consumed Elias Turner's shop 2 years before, carrying with her only a half-burned scroll, the one with the serpent symbol. That night, as rain lashed the shutters, Clara heated the parchment over a flame. Slowly, faint lines appeared, not words, but coordinates. They pointed east of Philadelphia, toward a small, forgotten chapel once used by French Huguenots. Clara's pulse quickened. "The serpent moves eastward," she whispered, just as he said. 2. The Chapel of Ashes. At dawn, Clara set out in disguise, a widow in black, her basket filled with candles and bread. The road was muddy, the air heavy with gunpowder and smoke. The chapel stood in ruin, ivy crawled up its stone walls. Inside, pews lay broken, and the altar was covered in dust. But beneath the altar she found something strange. A brass plate engraved with a symbol, a serpent coiled around a candle. The same seal from Elias's scroll. When she pressed the serpent's head, the floor clicked. A hidden compartment opened. Inside was a small iron box, and within it, a leather-bound book titled Codex Lux. The text was written in an archaic script, Latin mixed with French and strange numerical sigils. Clara couldn't read it, but she recognized one name scrawled in the margin: Frere A. Franklin. Her breath caught. Benjamin Franklin. 3. The Secret of the Codex Lux. Franklin, by 1777, was in France, courting alliances, persuading kings, and building the image of a philosopher-patriot. But beneath that charm, he was also a master of invisible inks, coded correspondence, and secret lodges. Clara knew that if anyone could decode the Codex Lux, it was him. So she entrusted the book to a courier, a young printer's apprentice named Silas Boone, who rode south with Washington's retreating army. For weeks, nothing. Then, in the winter of 1777, a message arrived, written in Franklin's distinctive looping script. "Your discovery confirms what I feared. The light we kindle was not ours first. It was given to us. Guard it well. Burn no candle alone. B.F." Enclosed was a sketch, the serpent symbol again, but now its body formed a circle. Inside the ring were 13 stars. The serpent had become the emblem of a new cipher, the Serpent of Philadelphia. 4. The Code of 13 Flames. Over the following months, Franklin's agents and the Candlemen rebuilt their network, stretching from Boston to Charleston, from Paris to Philadelphia. They developed a new encryption system, 13 coded flames, each representing one colony. Every message required the heat of 13 specific candle types to reveal different layers of writing,
beeswax, tallow, bayberry, whale oil, and others. Each type revealed a different voice in the message. Tallow for military intelligence, bayberry for diplomatic secrets, whale oil for encoded names.
Beeswax for financial support from Europe. Together, the messages created a mosaic, a living map of the revolution's hidden front. But the British, too, were evolving. Captain Merryweather, burned, exiled, but not dead, had followed the trail eastward. From London, he sent his own spies to Philadelphia, determined to find the Codex Lux and the woman who had it. The Whispering Room. Late one night in April 1778, Clara met Silas Boone in a cellar beneath the print shop of the Pennsylvania Gazette. The press thundered above them, drowning their voices. Silas laid a parchment on the table. "Another message from Franklin. He's in Passy. The French are ready to help, but he says the British are close to finding the cipher's origin." Clara's eyes narrowed. "The Codex Lux?" "Yes, he believes it traces back to a secret society, a group of philosophers who believed liberty itself was a mathematical design. They called themselves les voleurs, the watchers." "And the serpent?" "Their emblem, passed from generation to generation until Franklin inherited it through his studies in London." Clara leaned back, stunned. Then Elias's cipher wasn't just a tool. It was part of something far older. Before Silas could answer, the door above burst open. Shouts, boots, redcoats. They were discovered. VI, the capture. Clara and Silas ran through the narrow alleyways of Philadelphia, clutching the Codex Lux. Lanterns flashed behind them. A musket fired, splintering a crate near Clara's head. They ducked into the old city sewer, a labyrinth beneath the streets. As they fled, Clara pressed the book to her chest. "If they take me, burn it," she said. "No," hissed Silas. "Elias died to keep this alive." They turned a corner, only to find Captain Merryweather waiting, pistol drawn, his face half lit by torchlight. "Miss Whitcomb, you've carried this game long enough," he said coldly. "You should have died in Boston." He smiled faintly. "So should you." He reached for the codex. Clara didn't hesitate. She struck the torch from his hand and hurled the book into the running sewer water. The pages flared as the wax seal ignited, then vanished into the darkness. Merryweather cursed and lunged, but Silas tackled him. The two men struggled, falling into the current. Clara ran, her heart pounding, the sound of the city fading behind her. By morning, she was gone. The Legacy of the Serpent. Months later, when Franklin returned from France, he received a single surviving page of the Codex, recovered by an unknown source. On it was written, in faint ink visible only by candlelight, "The serpent shall circle the flame until liberty is born." Franklin framed it in glass and kept it in his study until his death. He never revealed its full meaning, but in his private papers, historians later found sketches of strange mathematical symbols, star patterns, and hidden notes connecting the cipher to ancient Masonic geometry. And among those notes, a single line stood out. "Turner's wax, Whitcomb's code. The light moves to Yorktown." The Final March. 1778 would become the turning point. The French alliance was sealed. Washington's army regained strength. But behind the victories and speeches, the Candlemen continued their invisible war, decoding British plans, intercepting naval codes, and delivering intelligence that would guide the Continental Army to Yorktown 3 years later. Many never lived to see peace. Clara Whitcomb's fate was never recorded. Silas Boone was later listed among Washington's invisible couriers, and the Codex Lux, that strange book born of light, liberty, and serpents, was lost to history. Or so it seemed. Epilogue. A Letter Never Sent. In 1826, the year both Jefferson and Adams died, workers renovating an old house in Philadelphia discovered a wax-sealed bottle behind a brick wall. Inside was a single candle, its wick pointing east. Embedded in the wax was a sliver of parchment that read, "If you read this, remember, freedom was never born of muskets alone. Beneath every war of blood, there burns a war of light."